The purpose of this podcast is simple. We want you to get to know your doctor before meeting them in person, because you're making a life-changing decision and time is scarce. The more you can learn about who your doctor is before you meet them, the better that first meeting will be. There's no substitute for an in-person appointment, but we hope this comes close. I'm your host, Eva Shea, and you're listening to Meet the Doctor. We're back on Meet the Doctor. My guest today is Dr. Shiv Goel. He's an internal medicine, functional medicine, and cosmetic surgeon in San Antonio. I'm so delighted to have you with me today, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me over here.
You've had a hectic weekend. It's Sunday night right now. And so do you want to give us a little bit of a day in the life and tell me what you were up to this weekend?
Oh, well, yesterday I was working. The Saturday, we were supposed to work only from 10 to 2, but we got some last-minute patient, and one of the procedures got lengthened. She came from one thing and kept adding things, so I finished at about 6 in the evening. Then I went out with a friend of mine for a dinner, woke up this morning, got a call from my son that he needs something. So that's why I took him out, and he just recovered from leptospirosis. And so he's trying to get back to his school routine.
Was that serious?
He was hospitalized for a few days, but now he's better. He completely recovered.
Yeah, they bounce back.
Yeah.
Okay, so today you do functional, sometimes it's called integrated
or functional medicine. Mm-hmm. But what exactly is the functional medicine is? Functional medicine is an integrated approach towards and incorporating your body, your mind, and spirit. Because we are not just the human being, we are spiritual human beings. So until or unless we bring the change at the thought level, when I talk about thought level, at the neurotransmitter level, because anything which is happening in our body, it ultimately also affects our neurotransmitters, like our hormones. With the aging, our hormones start going in all different directions. Whether you take women's, men's, their testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, cortisol level, stress is the number one cause nowadays for maximum of the issues we are having. Whether it's physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress, work stress, relationship stress, you name it, just having a living, making a living is a stress nowadays.
Just being alive.
Yes.
How do you see stress manifest itself physically as symptoms? Like what kinds of things start to come up when you're under stress for too long?
Oh, there are a number of things. First, most important thing is insomnia. People started having difficulty falling asleep, and then difficulty maintaining sleep. They will feel like tired, chronic fatigue, weakness all the time. Then they feel like a mental fogginess. And slowly, the increased cortisol level, the whole gear shift towards your increased corticosteroids level, and the productions of your other hormones will decrease. Your insulin resistance will go up. So people start developing metabolic syndrome. They start having weight gain, overweight, along with the heart issues, high blood pressure. Like you name it, it is just a beginning of the whole nuclear chain reaction, I would say that. And nobody is really addressing that issue. So many of my patients, they comes to me and I just wonder that just after speaking 10 to 15 minutes and I do nothing, I just listen. And I felt that just because all the insurance companies and hospitals or this and that are forcing maximum of the physicians to see this certain number of patients to make a living for themselves, they hardly get any time to really cure the person. We are only managing the superficial symptoms.
Do you ever go on Reddit? Do you ever read anything there?
No, not
Oh,
really.
well, I don't usually go on social media much anymore, but I spend probably too much time on Reddit just reading.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of different subcategories. And if you end up in the internal medicine or the family medicine groups, they're all talking about how unhappy they are that this is their lives now, that they can't listen and that they have to move through the numbers so fast. And they're all
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to get out.
And that's what I did. I just didn't figure it out. Okay. I was making almost $500,000 until a couple of years ago, but I wasn't happy. Not because of the money or anything. It's just because I thought that I'm not really doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making, whether it's not just me, whether it's a cardiologist or a nephrologist or a pulmonary doctor or any specialty, you name it. We were only managing the symptoms. And the same patients will keep coming again and again and again.
And never getting better.
Never get better, never get better. In fact, a lot of patients actually get worse and worse and worse and worse.
Mm-hmm. I went through this with my older daughter this last year with what seemed like it should have been a simple issue, and nobody wanted to get to the root cause of the issue. And I fought like crazy, and I disagreed with everyone. And I don't usually disagree with doctors. Like, we're not actually, as normal people, as consumers of healthcare, we're not inclined to fight with doctors. But then here we have the internet and our ability to actually go and look things up and check things out for ourselves. And we're also, when we're moms, we have instincts, and those instincts are much stronger, maybe even than for ourselves, was when we're trying to protect a child. And that might be another part of the problem, is that.
The other thing is this also I have seen is that lack of education, which is healthcare providers provide to the patients and their family members, because a lot of times they themselves are not aware of it. Number two, many a times they only see in one direction, which is evidence based in certain way, and only if they qualify for this criteria, then they will make that diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that it has nothing to do with branding a diagnosis. So many times I have seen patients have the symptoms, or it's like kind of a syndrome. Like for example, those who have PCOD, which is polycystic ovarian disease, okay? But there are so many, 60% of my patients, they do not have PCOD, but they have the same physiology. They have what we call polycystic ovarian syndrome. In order to qualify for us to say certain things, they will look for certain things. But what about if you don't find it? Does that neglect that thing does not exist? No. It all depends upon how you approach. Our hormones level, for example, just varies from, like, for example, your testosterone levels. They varies from, nowadays it's like 240 or 250. It used to be 320 normal. Now they decreased down to 240 normal. And now it varies and goes up to 1100. How would one decide what is the right number for you?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
How do you decide?
We decide not by the number, we decide by the lifestyle of the person, the symptoms, the issues the patient has been having. And this hormone is not just act alone, it acts along with estrogen and progesterone. Testosterone converts into estrogens where? In blood vessels, in fat cells, and in brain. And it is very essential. And that's why people those who have, you must have seen like a bodybuilder. So those who've been taking way too much of testosterone, and at the same time they take too much estrogen blockers, and they literally have no estrogen left. So when you don't have any estrogens, your blood vessels become stiff. And that's why incidence of cardiovascular issues are less in women than in men. So nowadays, like a lot of my patients, they are in their early 20s and 30s. You'll be shocked. And they have not just, like initially I was wondering, like, why is it happening? Why suddenly all of these patients started coming with a low testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and even their LH, FSH is low. And they were having all the symptoms, and they did not have a primary hypogonadism. I was like, what is going on? Then I started sitting down with them for extra 10 minutes because it takes for someone to build a trust, to reveal something else. And marijuana consumption has increased lately in every state. And marijuana, nobody has studied it and how it causes it. It causes what we call a endocannabinoid syndrome. So it affects your endocrine organs in certain ways that for some reason, and how is it happening, the whole pathway and the how it actually works is not known, but it depresses your primary productions of pituitary hormones. If you see in those patients, those who've been consuming or smoking marijuana for a long period of a time, I'm not saying like socially, I'm just saying those people are habitual marijuana smokers. And I have patients, those who've been smoking since the age of 12. And by the time they are 21, 22, because that is their prime age when they are in the pubertal stage. And they develop what I call, it's like a secondary hypogonadism or secondary hyperpituitarism because of this. Stress is another most important factor which plays in decreased testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. In women's, a lot of my female patients, they have menstrual irregularities. And the funny part is this. Some of my patients, they came to me and they've been going to their OBGYN doctors and they've been going to their other functional medicine physicians. And one woman is being on oral contraceptive pills for last 21 years. And nobody has ever told her to take a break. What happened? Now she wanted to conceive. And she's only, I think, she's 33, 34. She wanted to conceive. We ran her blood test. She entered into premature menopause. And I was like, did no one ever said anything to you? She said, no, I go to my OBGYN. I have a functional medicine physician. She came for something else. She wanted to have a cosmetic procedure. And so that is very, I don't know what to say, is that people don't pay attention. And I think it is very important for if you're healthcare providers. And it's kind of an unfortunate situation because as a patient, you trust them. You believe whatever they say to you. And it becomes like a very difficult. You may seek a second opinion. And what if the second opinion comes out to be the same as that of first opinion? Does that mean that they both are right? Or does that mean there's something else beyond the normal conceptual way where you can? I think that the part which you are doing, Eva, is great. Like having those voices heard, having people like us give that information to them, that if you feel that you are not getting better, you are not, or your physician or healthcare provider is not really addressing the root cause of it, then it is the time for you to take actions and do something about it.
There's a lot of questions in my mind. One thing that stands out to me about the birth control pills is that for me, there was a cost, and the cost was a deterrent. They most of the time don't cost anything now. So if you're young and you're on your own and you're spending your own money for the first time in your life and you don't have very much of it, you look at that prescription every month and you go, I wish I didn't have to pay for this. And eventually you would get yourself off because you don't want to spend the money anymore. But the other thing that was always in my own head was, I don't want to keep taking this. This is not how my body is supposed to function. I'm messing with something here.
Exactly. And the oral contraceptive pills should not be taken for a prolonged period of a time because it's basically telling your own system to act certain ways, and people will have menstrual irregularities, they will have migraine headaches. There are other complications and side effects of OCPs. Weight gain is one of them, water retention. But what is most important is that there are so many other methods of contraceptives which are available, and by giving that education, because we have to understand what is their primary purpose of having oral contraceptive pills, contraception. So there are so many new methods. Why not we implement those? If you compare the cost of OCPs, somebody going to spend over a period of next 5, 6, 7 years or whatever time frame, and you can place IUDs. And nowadays there are so many different other contraceptive methods are there, which you can do it, and later on you can remove it simply or once a year. So it doesn't affect it, or just use the physical methods. But it all has to do with, I think, personal choices. And I'm not against oral contraceptives, but I always advise take a break, have your system recover from it. And during that time, you can use other methods so that you don't end up like so many other patients end up with weight gain, depression, anxiety, insomnia, overweight, and the list is endless. And then, what if you enter into a premature menopause? If you've been keep taking for next 20, 30 years? Because I have seen this kind of a disparity. There's one who don't care. I have seen they have kids at a very early age of 14 and 15. And then the other side where corporate world and ambitious women are, and they don't want to have kids until they are fully settled and they feel they are ready for it. And by the time, and they keep taking certain methods of contraceptive, by the time they reach that age, they have already caused so much damage if they haven't been properly educated about it, or their physician hasn't been really looking after it.
This is the big ripoff. You work and work and work and work, and then you're 36 or 38 or 40, and you've been taking this for so long, and now you have to go pay for fertility treatment because you waited too long.
And, it is not just about the OCPs. It is happening at so many different levels in healthcare. I tell you, I give an example. You go to a plastic surgeon, or you go to a medical spa, or any kind of a physician, and you want to get, they say that, okay, we'll check your hormones, we check this and that, we are functional medicine physician and everything, and they check your hormones level, and they say that, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Monica, you are 49-year-old, you enter into a menopause, now I think you needs to be on hormones or pellets or something. They started putting pellets in you. Who is placing the pellets? Most of the time, it is a technician or a nurse who is placing the pellets. Okay. The doctor, how many people are really, really qualified to understand these intricacies of hormones in a female patient? Hardly. I have not few. The person I learned from and a couple of more I have seen, like which I have come across, they are really good in that. But most of the time, they do not care. For them, a patient is just a number. So every 3 months, they come, they get a pallet. Every 3 months, they come, they get a pallet without even checking the labs sometimes. And sometimes people check labs, but they do not care where the numbers are going. I have so many patients, they coming, and when we check their labs, I was like, a 68-year-old female whose testosterone level is more than my own level.
Oh, that's scary.
Can you believe that? So I started asking when I checked those labs, and she came because she was so brainwashed that she needs pallet every third month and the same amount of pallet. And if she would not get it, then she will have issues.
They weren't checking to see if she even needed it or was in a deficit.
No, they were checking it. And the funny part is that they're also documenting it that now testosterone level is $500. We'll place the same amount of pallets. And I was like, because it is because nobody's watching what they're doing. You know? So when she came, and then I started asking the questions like, how's your sleep? She said she can't sleep in the nights. She said that I just had a treatment, laser treatment on my face. They offered it because I started having facial hairs. Now you see?
What?
They know what they are doing. So then they offered her that we have a laser treatment for facial hairs, and then they offered her we have microneedling because now her pores are increased. She started having acne. So they started her on an acne medication. Then her hair was starting to fall off. She developed male pattern baldness. Okay,
No.
so they offered her hair rejuvenation. They offered her exosome therapy, which costed her $2,200.
This sounds like a nightmare.
And she kept on struggling. A female who's turning into a male by internalizations at the age of 68. And why all this happening is because of the greed.
I hope she never went back there. You helped her, right?
I helped her, and she kept insisting because it is so interesting how they brainwash people. I told her, you do not need anything. In fact, I have to balance her because her estrogen and testosterone levels were completely off. So I said, you do not need testosterone. You have more than my testosterone. Like, I should take some from you. So, but it took her time to understand that. So she took a second opinion because she was brainwashed that she needs testosterone pellets. And then she came back. She said, yeah, you're right. I'm so sorry. So that's what is happening. And this is just another example. There are so many examples I can give you. You go to a clinic or any plastic surgeons, and they are offering a treatment for a very cheap prices nowadays. You know, everybody is trying to show or steal something from someone. Okay. But how are they able to do it? Like, for example, I've seen people giving PRP treatments. Okay. Half of the time, they are not even doing PRP.
Oh, they're faking it?
Yes.
They're just drawing blood and
they're
putting
just
it back
drawing
in?
blood, and they spin it like in a normal test tubes, and what causes it separate plasma from RBCs. That's it. And that's why, because if they use the proper method, like I have a bio-PRF and I have a PRP system, both the system. And when a kit cost me $150 for a PRP and the PRF, the whole thing costed me $7,000. How are they able to give it for $199 with the microneedling? So it's a little bit fault on the customer or the client base too, because they gravitate towards what is lowest or cheaper out there. People don't know what is the difference. They don't know what centrifuge they are using. They don't know what is PRF. They don't know how long this effect will actually last. Like they don't even know what is the difference between PRP and PRF. Which one is better? Does the PRP same as PRF? Does the effect of PRP last the same as PRF, or PRF is better than that? No one knows. Who takes advantage of that?
The bad guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like the other day, I was looking into get a new exosomes therapy in my clinic. So I started comparing the prices around, and I found out that I know that there are so many different kinds of exosomes. Not every exosome is same because they all come from exosome is just a extra cellular vesicles. We used to throw them out like long years ago after the extractions, but then we figured it out that they actually carry some messenger signals which affect the other cells in their growth and productions. But not every exosome has those signals. The exosomes which comes from multipotent mesenchymal stem cells will have some most beneficial effect. Nowadays, we have exosomes from any animal adipose cells. Then we have it from humans adipose cells. And also we have from the plants exosomes like, I won't name the company, plant exosomes. So they get it. The plant exosomes, I think, would cost them $20, $40, $50 maximum, and they charge $1,000 to the patient. On the other hand, because people doesn't know, we used at least 12.5 to 25 billion exosomes particle which comes from the single lineage. Even in the mesenchymal stem cells, there are multiple lineage could be, because mesenchymal stem cells are so many different types. So what kind of mesenchymal stem cells they are using, how they are purifying it, and how they're inserting it, that decide the cost. So that cost me $500 to $600. So they should do a little bit more research because it is out there. It is out all there, the knowledge. And nowadays we have chat GPT, we have AI. You just do not have to work too much with Google. So just ask AI that, tell me about exosomes.
Oh, that ought to be a fun exercise.
Or tell me about PRP, or tell me about testosterone. Tell me that what is optimization of testosterone. The insurance company does not pay for hormones optimizations. They only pay for normalization of hormones. What does that mean? As long as your hormone level is within the certain numbers, you're fine. Doesn't matter you are an athlete, or doesn't matter you have a very active lifestyle, or you have a sedentary lifestyle, or you are having multiple other issues which is causing your levels to be low, and that is fine. So it depends on every person or individual need. So that's how I make my plans, whether it's weight loss, because weight loss it is not a medication. It is not about having a injection or just a GLP-1 analog injection, because weight loss is an integrated 360-degree evaluation and management. It's like a tip of an iceberg. If I only see the tip and do not see the depth of the iceberg below it, what's going to happen? It's going to come back again and again and again. There are not many people, those who have the strong willpower like you, those who can maintain it even off the medications. It is easy to lose the weight while you are on certain medications. But what those medications are causing other effects on the body, number one. Number two is that how long can we actually take the medication? What are we trying to achieve? My goal is to create an integrated plan. First, I see everything what is going in their body. What is their adrenal health? What is their stress levels? Stress is number one cause of obesity. Then we have a whole questionnaires we give it to our patients. How do they feel about themselves? People, you won't believe me when they tell me that they hate themselves. And I only ask them one thing. First thing in the morning when you wake up, you have to tell yourself, you have to manifest that you are the person you want to be, and you have to feel it. You have to love yourself. I say, fake it until you make it. Because for so many years, you have been telling yourself that you are ugly, you are overweight, you don't look good, because other people have told you. So, because you can't have a boyfriend because you're overweight, they tell you this, people make fun of you, jokes of you. I said, get rid of every outer things and get deep inside yourself. And that's what I call about the spirituality. Blocking the negative factors which has affected your life, all life, from the day you were born to this day. Because our thinking, what we become at the end, is nothing but an amalgam of all the impressions, whether it created by everybody or everyone who has ever touched our life. Started from our parents, our siblings, our colleagues, our friends in school, the first time when someone got bullied, when we had a first affair, had a heartbreak, everything, news, media, everything plays a role. And at times we think that, oh, this is what I think and I believe in. That's also a reflection of someone else. Finding your true identity in this world is very important. And that is something, a journey, which I think every person should take it. I started on this journey when I lost my mother in 2014, October 24th, 2014. I was very close to her, and it's kind of a, if I say that, it will be difficult for many people on the scientific way when we say to understand is that I almost had a mental breakdown because, when you are so close to someone and you've never seen that person sick, you have always seen that person strive and give her best, for the family and never complained about it. You reach a point that, okay, she'll be fine. She never, she always keep good. And when that person just vanished like a thin air out of nowhere, just like that, and you give that person by your hands to the fire, and you see that converted into dust and ashes, and then those dust and ashes also you submerge back into the nature. So that was the moment which made the foundation of prime vitality. That we are so temporary and perishable in this world. And we were not just born to exist, keep working, keep making money, same thing every day. And one day, without realizing why we were even born, what did we do in this whole lifespan? The life is so beautiful. There must be a reason we were born. We were not just born just because two people decided to have some fun.
No.
So that is the part which not people do not even care. When they go to someone else's funeral, I have seen they always express sorry and they forget that they are the next ones. And no one knows when is the time.
No, we don't.
So this discovery of self-knowledge, our only purpose in this world is to love, to share, to experience, to help. That is the real joy. And that's what everything else, money, business, work, it will come in abundance to you. But that was not the main reason. You were supposed to work and do certain things to make a living so that you can experience this life. You can help fellow human beings. You can create something unique. You can discover, you can invent. You have the capacity to do so much. But we hardly use our full potential because we caught up in everything or anything which give us negative impact. We don't even use our full potential.
Do you think that you started using your full potential when you went into business for yourself, when you went out on your own?
Exactly. I think,
Me too.
but believe me, this is not easy also because
No.
you are competing against those people, those who have mastery in fooling, those who have mastery in marketing, those who knows how to sell. I'm just a physician who started and I threw everything I ever made in my life into this.
How did you decide to become a doctor? Is there a story?
Yeah, my dad,
Was he a doctor?
no, but he was a patient for sure. So there was no physician in my family. Like we are seven of us, seven siblings, big family. My dad was a professor of mathematics, but I never liked mathematics. I hated maths, but I have to be good in that because he would otherwise beat the shit out of us. So it's the same thing, lack of knowledge. He didn't know what's happening to him. He was very short tempered because he has to take care of seven kids. And at the same time, his own parents, those who were in a village, and he had, I think, almost seven sisters and three brothers and something or the other. So almost 90% of his salary will not come to our home, will go to his parents and taking care of his own brother and sisters. So I was raised in a very poor family. My mother, she struggled. She started doing some side business, selling this and that, so that she can raise us. But I always believed from the day I was born, like probably, that this is not where I belong. And I still feel like this, that this is not where I belong. And my only purpose in life is to spread this knowledge, which neither my dad had. He didn't know what was going inside him because he never went to a physician. He couldn't afford to go to a physician. And by the time he went to a physician, we came to know his heart is only less than 30% working. He has diabetes full blown. He was having a high blood pressure for a long time. His stress level was super high. He was in a chronic adrenal fatigue state. And that was the reason he was so short tempered. That was the reason he was behaving like that. But at that time, I did not know that. So that trauma stayed with me until when my mom passed away and I started this journey of self discovery. And I had to relive. I didn't even know, but when I went into my past, I realized I didn't forgive my dad. And that's when I felt so, I just wanted him to be happy. But when I understand the reasons behind it, he didn't know. He did the best he could do in his power at that time. He was trying to take care of everyone. And at the same time, he was burning himself. And he died at the age of 56. I love him more than ever before. And you won't believe it lifted something which I never felt that I had the burden of. A lot of times we have so many unconscious pressures or stress inside ourselves which we have been accumulating from years without acknowledging them. because we don't want to touch something which we think are going to hurt us. If I, like many times when I ask my patients to close their eyes for 2 minutes, they can't because their brain feel like that they're going to burst. It started running in 1 million miles per second. And I tell them, until or unless you will learn to be at the peace or at the ease with yourself, you will never get at the prime of your health, whether it's your physical, mental, or social or any health. A lot of autoimmune issues which are happening, a lot of they say idiopathic conditions or like a restless leg syndrome or fibromyalgia or there's so many issues, irritable bowel syndrome. There's not really a cause or a specific reason for it. Having an holistic approach towards things, having people learn how to meditate, simple things. And I say to people that just 5 minutes, initially, just 5 minutes, go to the YouTube. People have YouTube channels just free. Download mindful meditation. Try to relax your body at the end of the day. Try to release it. We are storing so much stress inside ourselves every single day and night. And that's where we started having this pain, that pain, headaches, migraines, you name it, and the list becomes endless, and one leads to another. And we are paying hospitals, doctors, physicians, and they are also treating the symptoms, and the cycle never ends. And I would be really happy if through your channel or voice, I just want to give a medium to my voice so it can reach to the people. And I don't want them to come to me. The reason behind it is to give them the knowledge, because I think we all deserve to have the knowledge and education that everything can be fixed. We are not alone. You are not alone. We are here for you guys.
We have the same goal, and that this is why we're here.
But I'll share you a very interesting thing which happened to me last year. And I never believed in that. I never believed in that because it never happened to me. I was going through a tough time. I started my business and I lost so much money. The contractor which I hired to do my new clinic, he ran away with the $70,000. I started having stealing and whatnot. And then the marketing nowadays in this industry is like every person you hire, it feels like I'm spending $10,000 on a marketing and I'm making like hardly 10,000, hardly 5,000 or 2,000 return on that. So I was going in negative. But this was I gave up everything for this because it was just like it was not for the money. It was just like become a purpose of my life, of my existence. I don't know what. So it was like 11 o'clock in the night. I was coming from my clinic and I went to HEB to get some ice creams because that's what makes me happy. So I was going to the ice cream and for some reason, I don't know what happened to me. I end up in the bread aisle. So I was like, why am I in the bread aisle? So I thought maybe I need bread. So I was like, no, I don't even cook. I usually don't cook. So I said, no, I don't need bread. It's going to go waste. So I was about to take a turn. Then I saw a white female in her mid 60s or early 60s. She was looking straight to me and she was literally staring me. And then I felt a little uncomfortable too. Like, why am I like something wrong or what happened, So, and then she passed by me straight. So I was like, okay. And I took a turn and I was about to go to the ice cream aisle. And then she came back and she stopped me from behind. And I said, yes. So she said, I have to tell you something. I'm so sorry that I have to stop you like this. You might have noticed that I was literally staring you before, and I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable or anything. And I tried not to talk to you or tell you, but the more I kept moving away from you, the intensity inside me kept on increasing that I have to stop you and I have to tell you this. And I was like, okay. And she mentions one more thing, that she herself didn't know why she ended up in HEB in that bread aisle that day. She said that she's a songwriter for a church. So she said whenever any idea pop up in her mind, she tried to write it down then and there only. So she was driving home, and then she got a very good idea, and so she stopped at the HEB a parking lot just to write that idea down. And then suddenly she felt like that she has to go inside the HEB, and like something like intuitions, like I have to go inside. So she said I came to the HEB, and then I was like, why am I here for? And then she said, okay, then I decided to get some bread, because she can always use the bread. And she said that when I came to the bread aisle, that's where I saw you. And that's when, and I tried to move away from you, but something inside me kept on increasing. So I finally asked, yes, go ahead, tell me. I was very curious to know, because that has never happened to me, like a stranger stopped me like that. So she held my hand like this with both of her hands and my hand in between. And she's asked me, can I have your hand? I said, sure. And she looked into my eyes and she said that he wanted to say something to you. And then she said that he loves you. He loves you so much. And I asked him, who? She said, I don't know what is your religion is or whatever it is, but I call him Jesus. And that day, that particular day, when I was going through the whole few months, I was going through so much, and my eyes were about to fill up. And then she said that, I know. And she said that, I know. He knows everything. Things you've been going through is for a reason, because you want to make sure that you are ready for what you are going to do. And then she mentioned that, but you're almost there. Just don't give up. From this day onwards, he's not going to leave your hand. And I was like crying in the middle of an HEB and never cried. I just like the tears started coming out from nowhere. And I was like, it's like he has to send a messenger or something for me at that moment, after me going through so many things, and after me being doing everything in my power to help. And I was the one who ended up losing one after another, because I believe in people. I love people. And there's something which I cannot change. But at the same time, I also learned how to protect myself. And she told me that your vibrational energy is way higher. And the problem with you is you try to welcome each and every person who is coming into your life, and you give them the same 100% when they do not even have that vibrational energies or wavelength to even comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you are not supposed to do that. You are supposed to choose them wisely and watch them, and then give only 10% and see. Your 10% sometimes could be 100% for that person.
This is just a stranger in HEB telling you this?
Exactly.
Did you think she was a loon until this part? Like, this is the part where I'm on board with you.
It did not end there.
Wow.
2 weeks later, I had a female, a very young not young, like in mid 40s, but she was very fit. And she came for a body type consultation in my clinic. But she was amazed by the arts and everything. And because each piece of art has a meaning behind it. So she stand up in front of an art where I have depicted the masculinity and femininity, the balance, Shiva and Shakti, the energies which we have in the universe is not about female or male sex. Masculinity and femininity are the energies. And it's a perfect balance, which in every, whether it's a female or a male, it is the balance which makes us unique. And how the shift is happening in modern era that masculinity becomes so powerful that everybody try to be masculine, whether it's man or women, and they forget that femininity is the most strongest energy which exists in the universe. The energy which created this whole thing is the feminine energy. It is not a masculine energy. Masculine energy has no way can create anything. Even the masculine energy was created by feminine energy. But the people think it's about a female. There's no female or male. It is the energies. Yes, in a female, we have more feminine energies. But there also we have a balance. If a female comes to, I don't know if you have seen in a Hindu religion, there is a goddess called Kali, in which when the feminine energy took a form of masculine energy, and when they wanted to show that how powerful she is, none of the energy in the whole universe could stop her. Only way for the universe to stay in balance is by masculinity surrendering herself to femininity. And that's when they depicted in the form of sculptures and other things, so that easy for people to understand that how femininity literally dance over masculinity to calm down. So I was talking about that person, that lady. So I was wondering, like, she looks so fit. Where does she need liposuction from? She's like, her waistline is 26. She was perfect 32, 26, 32. But then she asked me a question. She said that, where did you get these ideas from? Who motivated you? What was the reason behind all of this? And I said, there are many things, but most important was my mom. And she said, yes, she knew it. And she said that, I'll come back sometime. I have to go somewhere today and I'm running short of time. I'll come back. I said, okay. And one day I was having a really bad day because I had a stealing in my clinic. One of my employees stole about $15,000 worth of products and ran away. And that was another on top of what I was going through. So that morning, I didn't even have her number. I didn't know, but she got my number. And probably she picked up the card from the clinic or something. And she texted me 7 or 8 in the morning that I need to see you. And she mentioned, and I was half asleep when I got the text. So I just found something like a mindfulness, peace, only those 2 words I could read. I replied, yes. And she said that, okay, can I come tomorrow at 5 p.m.? I said, sure. And then an hour later, I got another text from her that, no, I need to come and see you today only. I'm coming at 5 p.m. And I was like, what kind of, is he patient or what exactly going on? So I had a patient at 4:30, which finished early. So I was like, and she said, I don't mind waiting. So she was waiting. And when I saw her, I realized, oh, she is the same person who came the other day. And I welcome her. The sentence which that previous lady started, that you are vibrating at a different frequency. and the people are not. She completed the whole process for me. She said, you are at a higher level and you stuck in between the transition between that level and the next level. You are stuck and you don't know. You are so confused, you are frustrated and angry because this is the transformation you're having. And you don't know how to get to the next level and you can't go back to the level where you were before. And she said, it is happening because you are not manifesting mindfulness. So I asked her, what do you mean? What is mindfulness? She gave me a cup of glass which was sitting there. And she said that, hold this glass. And she said, when you are holding this glass in your hand, what do you feel? Feel everything. Feel the texture of the glass. Feel the feeling, the touch which you get from the glass. Feel everything and observe it. That's the beginning of mindfulness at a very broader level. She said that the more and more you practice, you will see, you can see through each and every person. And then you would be able to choose which person to invite and let come in your life and which not to. Because I asked, like, how do we one decide that this person is the right person or this one I should trust, this one I cannot trust? Nowadays, people are wearing 10 different masks. It is so difficult for me to decide this is the right person, this is not the right person. She said, answer is mindfulness. Next day, I fired all my staff, all employees, because I realized I was afraid of I felt inside me, if I take someone's job away from them, how would they gonna do the next? I didn't realize that person is causing me so much damage for so long. And my good part was not letting me do it the right thing. And even though a few things, repercussions happen later on, but I ran that clinic just by myself for a month and I decided I will not hire anyone who does not represent or reflect the same philosophy and the same principle for which I laid the foundation of Prime Vitality. And 3 weeks later, I finally found one girl. She's been working for a cosmetic and a plastic physician here for 8 years. But she's been treating badly. They treat their staff badly and being disrespected and everything, and don't value, don't appreciate, and don't compensate for that. And my policy is very simple. You work hard, you deserve to get it. There's no way. I'm not doing it for I'm single. Like, where are I gonna take all this money to, like, in my grave? I don't think the graves have any pockets, and I'm gonna turn into ashes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Everything gonna remain here. This house, I don't call it anything is mine now anymore. I think that I'm just leasing this space, whatever we call it ourselves, just for if we say our lifespan is 99 years, so I'm probably just leasing it for 99 years. After that, it is not mine. I don't know what my sons will decide to do it after that, but he will have enough. So
this sounds like a really healthy approach.
it is very important, a healthy approach towards everything. And now I'm at a much better place.
Mm-hmm.
So much better place. I think this podcast has given you this opportunity, and probably it was very strange that like I got an email like that and I was like, okay, I can talk about GLP analogs. I was thinking that I could talk about the weight loss, but I wanted you to know that It is not the healthcare or is not about a single medicine or a fix. We are entirely a spiritual human being.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple law of even the science that energy can only be converted from one form to another. It cannot be destroyed.
So true. If you're considering making an appointment or are on your way to meet this doctor, be sure to let them know you heard them on the Meet the Doctor podcast. Check the show notes for links, including the doctor's website and Instagram, to learn more. Are you a doctor or do you know a doctor who'd like to be on the Meet the Doctor podcast? Book your free recording session at meetthedoctorpodcast.com. Meet the Doctor is made with love in Austin, Texas, and is a production of The Axis, TheAxis.io.